In our previous class, we have shown using Eclipse IDE while we are programming in Java, how we can be able to print out a statement or a welcome statement in Java, and we also look at how we can be able to declare and initialize our variables using Java. So today in this class, we are going to look at the different types of operators we have in Java programming language. Precisely, we are going to look at arithmetic operations. We are also going to look at the relational operations as well as the logical operations. This is what we are going to look at today in this class. Follow me as I lead you through your practical aspect. I remain Mr. Babanga Mahmoud Ahmad. So we are first of all going to start, we are coming here and we move to our resource. We right click on our resource or on our source folder. We now move to new as usual, then class. So we are going to start with the arithmetic operations. So we can say it, we might decide to put it arith up. That's all. Then we click on finish. So this will create arithmetic operation class under our normal hello world package. And so as we can see, public class arith underscore up. So we are going to create the public main void. That's the interim public main void, public static void main. So we have our string function, then our args, this one join together, and our arguments. So we open and close the curly braces. We now have two variables that we are going to declare in order to work with these arithmetic operations, because we are going to add the two numbers, we are going to subtract the two numbers, we are going to divide the two numbers, and also we are going to find the modular or modulus of the two numbers. So we are going to look at first, we are going to initialize. I said with the initialization can be integer. Int, we can say x is equals to, let's give it a 10 for instance. We say it, we can do this way in two ways, and then int y equals to 5. So but the issue here, since both these two variables are of the same data types, why can't we just have it like this? We separate this with a comma, then we end the statement. So now we know we are adding, subtracting, dividing, and then multiplying. So to do that, we can just say, we have two ways of doing that. We might decide to say it sum is equals to x plus y, x divided by y, and so on and so forth. But we might also decide to use system dot out dot print, then we have open and close bracket. Let's have a double quote here, let's say for the summation or for the addition. For the addition, we have this, and then we have it as plus sign. Now let's have this plus sign and say it, we are adding what? A plus B. Are we together? So that means we are adding this together. So we end this statement, and that's all. So something went wrong here. So what is the problem? If we now run this, we might be able to see the problem. So you see, we have what? Exceptional treatment Java this. So the issue here is that here system dot out dot print, there is no dot here, so we might go back and put our dot. We now save it again. Are we together? System dot out dot print, we have our addition. Okay, you know the problem, we are using variable of x and y while I'm using b here. So this a and b is not what declared here, so that is the problem. So we have x plus y, so, and that's all. So let's run this and see. So we see the addition, we have 15, right? That's the addition of what? 10 and 5. We have this. So let's say again we are going to have the summation or the subtraction of this. So subtraction of xy, so we have the subtraction here. We can run it again and see the output is 5. So let's have the multiplication here. The multiplication, which we are going to use the asterisk multiplication. We save, we run this again, we are having 50. So now the division, for the division we are going to use /, then we have division here. So we save and then compile this, we are having 2. Now the modular, we know the modular usually return what? The remainder of what? 15 and 10, when 10 is divided by 5. So the remainder is going to be returned here. So this is for the modulus. Then we still run this and it's going to return 0, of course, because there is no difference here. But if this is 4 or 2 and 5 and 2, then it's going to return something positive here. So here now, what I'm saying, the other way we can do that, we can be able to what? We can be able to say we are going to have another int of we have our sum, or we have sum is equals to x plus y. That's our, let's have it here, x and y. So these are all what? Integers. So we can decide to what? Keep them here as well, or keep them even in this very line. But for the purpose of clarity, we now fix them also in a separate line. For the subtraction, we use sub, then x minus y, we now have the same thing. For the what again? For the multiplication, we use mul equal sign, we have x asterisk y, we have comma again. For the division, we have div equality sign, then we have x div y, comma. We still have, for the modulus, we have modulus, we have mod. So equal sign, we have x at percentage y. So if this is what we are having, so instead of having this here, we might just decide to have this as what? We have this thing as sum, and that's all. Let's say we have also, let's delete this thing so that we can understand what we are doing. Now let's try to run this and see the result. You see it's still 15. So we have another one here, which is going to be what? Sub, and then we have this as what? As small. We have the other one as what? As div, right? As div. Then the other one also, we have it as mod. We save everything and then compile it again or run it. So you see, so you choose now. The issue now again, we are using the same thing here. So we might go back and then edit this one to subtraction. Subtraction, multiplication here, multiplication, then our division is here, our modulus is here, modulus. So you save and then run this thing. So you see it from the console here. So you choose how you want your program to be. You have two ways. You either do the storage and everything here, and then the output, then you look at this. But if you are now using the other way, you need to put it in a double bracket. That's the arithmetic operation. So the next operation we are going to look at here is what? Relational operation. That's how we are going to compare the two given numbers and see which one is greater than which one is lower. So here we are going to come back to the same source here. We right click, we move to new, we select our class. So we now put relational op, or we put the relational in full, relational operations. So we okay this, and we are having, so this is the same thing. We might go back and use the same public static void main. You have your string, open and close square bracket, you have your arguments. So you now declare, you now declare your what? You declare and initialize the two given numbers. Let's still initialize x and then y. X is equals to s is equals to 10, and then y equals to what? 5. That's what we use in the first example. So here we are going to use the same method there. If we are using the system.out, we say system.out.print, system.out.print. Then we have next line, also to move to the next lines. So here, if we decide to say a or x is greater than b, so we concatenate it with what? A greater than b, a greater than, or x greater than y, x greater than y. So we end this statement. Let's try to run this and see. So you see it's true. So it's true that this x is greater than y. It's not false. So if we decide to say it y is greater than what? X, what will happen? Let's run this and see. It's going to return false. Are you seeing it? So now we returned it to the first statement. So we can copy this as well. Paste. So we now use that of less than, x is less than y. Less than y. You remember your relational operation, greater than, less than sign, equality sign, and not equality sign, right? So we have another one. We can run this one also and see true and false. So we now decide to what? Have that of equality sign. We know in our equality sign in what programming is double equality sign, means equals to, that's like if x is equals to y, so it should return true. So you see this one also, it will now return false because they are not equal. But in the case of if this 10 and this is also 10, it's going to return what? You see here now is true. So, but for this purpose, we are going to leave it just the way they are. So we now look for that not equality sign. You just need to bear something in mind. All these things within the double quotes, they are what? They are just statements that we are looking for their output. So this one is what? Not equal to. It should be what? True. Yes. So you see, the first one is true, that x is greater than y. The second one is false, x is not greater than y. The third one, x is false because x is not equals to what? Y. While the last one is that x is not equal to y. So that's how you are going to have it. So if you need to have the same scenario of defining everything here and then do the needful, so you can go ahead and do that. So the next one we are going to look at here is what? The logical operation or comparative operations. So in our logical operations, we are going to go back to our source, right click, go to new, go to your class. You will now try to create one. Try to create logical underscore op. So as our class name, under the same hello world package, we are going to do the same thing that we are doing there. A public static void main. We have it. So we have this one is that we are going to have this. We know in a logical operation we are dealing with a boolean. That's the data type, right? And in boolean we know is deal with yes, no, true or false. So here we are going to deal with the true or false. So we are going to have declare our data type or our variable with a data type called boolean, and then we have x to be what? To contain true, and then our y should contain false, right? So we close this statement. So we have our system.out. We know in dealing with our logical operations, we have what? we have a, we have what, and we have o, we have not. Just in short, it's just a logical get operations. So here, if we have a system, if we have system.out.print, so we have something like this, and we want to print x, we want to print x, and then using double ampersand y here. So the same thing here, we can have it like this. Then we look at it this way. You remember that scenario, right, in your logic operations. Then we have our what, x and y. So we now end this statement. So something went wrong. What is that? What is that thing? Print.xy, and then we have x and y again. Why are we having issue here? There must be a problem, definitely. Y cannot be resolved to be what? To be variable. Y cannot be resolved to be variable in this statement. Why is it that y cannot be resolved? Because what the y we declare here is what, is a small letter y, while this one is a capital letter Y. So we now use the same small letter y here. So you see how case sensitive this Java is. So let's run it and see. So you see this is definitely was false. Are we together? So also we have here we are going to use for the correct return. So here we are going to use the vertical bar. Then we have the same thing here as O. Our vertical bars as what? O. So we are going to run the same thing here and see the output is going to be true. So the next one is going to be not what? System.out.print as not x. Are we together? Not x. So we are going to have the same thing here, not x. So we are going to run this and it's going to what? Return false. So you see here. So if you have not y, it's going to return true, and then and so on and so forth. So this is how you are going to what? Implement your what? A relational operation, arithmetic operations, and then logical operations. The bitwise operation, if you are coming to loop, we are going to see how our bitwise operations work. So thank you for being with us. Remain blessed.